That's probably not advisable at the moment because it must be driving him mad, I would have thought. But we'll get the thoughts from there a little bit later as Leeds have it on the left-hand side. It's not good for your follicles management, Steve.
No.
You've done really well to hold on to yours. They look pretty good.
Like I said, I think the higher up you go, the more stressful it is, without any shadow of a doubt. But yeah, that's a real damaging result, isn't it? Despite the run they've been on, you would have still expected them to turn over Bolton at home today.
They've only won one game since Christmas in the league, and that was against Leeds United, who trail here by 2-1 to Millwall at the moment at Ellen Road. But plenty of time still to go, and it's Leeds now trying to pile on the pressure. 20 minutes to go. It's a throw-in on the left-hand side for the home team. Tyler Roberts has it. Just angles it back towards Barry Douglas. Here's Tyler Roberts again, cuts back onto his right boot, little back heel to Douglas. He shimmies it infield. It's Harrison inside the penalty area, gives it away to Marlon Romeo. That's not gone out of play though from his clearance. It's Douglas with the cross, far post, and it's an equaliser from Luke Ayling, and it all came from the failure to clear their lines. And Leeds United back on level terms for the second time in the game, but this time it came from a poor clearance from Millwall, and it's Leeds United 2, Millwall 2.
Well, they haven't cleared their lines, and I honestly believe they thought it had gone out of play because they all stood like statues, and I think it was Harrison that kept it in play, and it was an exceptional piece of skill to keep it in play, but you don't just stop. You assume that's been kept in. He flicked it back in. The delivery from Douglas is excellent. Ayling was on the move before it left Douglas's boot. He got in front of his man and has headed it past Martin, and that's 2-2. And I actually was just about to compliment Millwall in how they've stifled the game. Leeds are struggling a little bit to conjure up opportunities, and then they go and do that, and that will really, really frustrate Neil Harris, because that goal should have never ever come about.
No. Now there has been a breaking of the deadlock at Selhurst Park. It's Palace against Huddersfield. Which way has it gone? Andy Rowley.
Hallelujah, as far as the Crystal Palace fans are concerned. After astonishing misses from Wilfried Zaha and twice from Andros Townsend, Zaha won a penalty. It was dispatched by Milivojevic as a shot goes just wide from Pritchard at the other end. Milivojevic, would you believe, has now scored half of the goals scored by Crystal Palace at Selhurst Park this season in the Premier League. His 6th here this season, his 10th in all, and it's 1-0 to Palace.
Manchester United are now 2-0 up against Watford, by the way, this afternoon, and it's Millwall in possession down the right-hand side. Foul by Marlon Romeo, and it's a free kick to Leeds United in their left-back berth. 2 apiece with 18 minutes to go, Steve Brown.
Yeah, and do you know what? If it stays 2 apiece, it's still an exceptional result.
It is a great
I think why I'm acting a little bit deflated is because they've led twice, and they've had a penalty saved. So, and they were in relatively decent nick in terms of controlling the game. But Leeds are going to make another substitution, and they are going for the throat, as you would as the home team. But it's such a shame, because I think Neil Harris will be so frustrated in the manner of the goals.
Yeah, absolutely. 27.5 minutes gone, second half. 2 apiece on BBC Radio London Sport. Waghorn's got a 6th for Derby County, and his 3rd of the afternoon. Wallace with the clearance, looking for Lee Gregory down the left-hand side. Leeds United have cleared. It's been won back by Ben Thompson, though, who now breaks down the right-hand side. Good challenge. Sliding back is Barry Douglas. Throw into Millwall, have responded well actually to being pegged back actually, and it will be a change which will see Adam Forshaw coming on, the former Brentford and Middlesbrough man and Everton trainee. Adam Forshaw, he'll be on shortly. It's Marshall, slides it back to the halfway line, and Jake Cooper, who buccaneers forward, still with it. Jake Cooper, edge of the Leeds penalty area, slides it to Gregory. He's got Cooper wide of him, couldn't quite sneak it through towards the central defender, and Luke Ayling will now carry. Oh dear, he's been absolutely cleaned out by Ben Marshall, and a yellow card produced by the referee, and a free kick to Leeds.
Oh, do you know what?
He's lucky to maybe get yellow.
Yeah, I thought he was reaching for red. Ayling's been poleaxed with that challenge, but it was an excellent run by the centre half, Jake Cooper, and he fed Lee Gregory, and if his first touch is good, he gets a shot away, but the first touch is poor. The turnover comes, and Leeds are looking really threatening on the counter-attack. So in some respects, that's a brilliant challenge and free kick to give away for Marshall, but he's gone into the book. And for a moment there, I did think it could be worse.
Klitsch is coming off to be replaced by Adam Forshaw. Let's go to Allianz Park. Jamie Hill.
And so Saracens really running away with it in the second half, lead by 32 points to 13. They have a chance to extend that advantage to maybe a 22-point gap. They scored a penalty early in the second half from Alex Gazowski, then their fourth try. Liam Williams, after great work by Jamie George down the right-hand touchline, he charged over Stuart Hogg, he ran over Stuart Hogg, got the ball back inside, Williams went over, the penalty by Gazowski is good, they lead by 22, it's Saracens 35, Glasgow 13.
Semi-finals then beckoning for Saracens in Europe. Looks like semi-finals beckoning, of course, when it comes to domestically as well. Here it's 2-2 at Ellen Road. Is there to be a winner in this game? 75 minutes almost elapsed as they go long towards Ayling down the right-hand side. This time it is bouncing out of play, and that'll be a Millwall goal kick. Yet to blink when it comes to the changes, Millwall. Chertsey 0, Northwich Victoria 0 in the FA Vars, by the way, this afternoon. So 1-1 on aggregate from the first leg. I spoke to Dave Anderson, the Chertsey manager, during the week, Steve, and he did say Northwich looked decent. It was going to be a tight game, may well be very tight for Chertsey against Northwich. 20 minutes or so maybe to go in that match. Goal kick for Millwall, which will be taken by David Martin. Launched long, headed down into midfield where it's met by Ryan Leonard. Slides it forward to Ben Marshall, who tricks his way past one challenge, loses possession, but Lee Gregory will close down on Liam Cooper, who forces it back to his goalkeeper. Peacock Farrell with the clearance. Jake Cooper brings it under control on his midriff. Here's Lennon to Tunnicliffe. On the right-hand side, Jed Wallace, closed down by Barry Douglas, spins in behind the Glaswegian. Down the right-hand side, he pumps the arms and looks to get some sort of free running down that right-hand side. Millwall have lost possession and it will be worked back into the feet of Barry Douglas on the left back position for Leeds United, who concede a throw in, and will go to London Stadium for team news from West Ham United's late commentary game on BBC Radio London on digital radio. Joe Shannon.
And there were 3 changes to the West Ham side victorious over Huddersfield here in dramatic fashion on the 16th of March. Noble and Antonio dropped to the bench. Felipe Anderson isn't in the squad at all. We gather he's injured. In comes Snodgrass, Lucas Perez and Obiang. Javier Hernandez once again starts on the bench. For Everton, one enforced change to the team that beat Chelsea. Mina injured, so Kurt Zuma comes in.
Well, a block challenge from Jed Wallace and Barry Douglas just left Douglas hobbling a little bit. His left knee felt that, Steve Brown.
Yeah, it was. It was a thunderous challenge from Wallace. Actually, didn't realise he had that in the locker, but it was a great challenge, and it's left Douglas struggling a little bit.
Yeah, hobbles back out onto the pitch. They want to check on his condition to the Leeds United coaching staff. 2-2 here at Ellen Road. As it's played back into centre midfield and it's lifted, and they've an overlap down the left hand side, and it's Barry Douglas who's popped up, seems to be running freely now. Here is Bamford, slides it back to Adam Forshaw, who's back on the pitch now for Leeds. Drop of the shoulder, Pablo Hernandez dives over one tackle. Marshall makes a block, and then he takes it away from Pablo Hernandez, who goes to ground inside the penalty area. He lofts it towards Lee Gregory, jumps up in the air, wins it back brilliantly. Oh dear. And then a handball against Lee Gregory.
I think it's a foul the other way.
Yeah, I thought so too.
Yeah, I think he's fortunate there. I think Cooper's just had a tug of his shirt when he didn't win the initial header, and that could have easily been given to Millwall. But there's a couple of great challenges there from Marshall on Hernandez. I don't understand why Hernandez didn't just deliver into the box.
Here go Leeds. It's Clanford Park shortly for news of Wimbledon, but they've won it back briefly, Millwall here. But on the right hand side, it's Clark who's beaten to it. It slides up the touchline from the clearance from James Meredith, and Millwall force play towards the halfway line. Mark Taylor, a goal for Scunthorpe, is it? Will be there shortly, as it's Tyler Roberts who's broken inside the penalty area. Burnley 2-0 up against Wolves. Dwight McNeil with it. 2-2 Bristol City against Sheffield United, and Vardy has doubled Leicester's scoreline this afternoon. It's a corner kick to Leeds, Steve, and we've got 11.5 minutes to go. It's been quickly taken. Pablo Hernandez tries to get beyond Ben Thompson, down towards the byline, checks back, still with it, smuggles it infield. Thompson with a rattle clearance away from danger temporarily. Forshaw now, the 27-year-old, goes for goal! Spooned wide by David Martin.
Yeah, it's an unconventional save, and it's only unconventional by the sheer fact that the Forshaw strike is moving all over the place, and you've just got to get something behind it and get it wide, and Martin did that. Sometimes it doesn't matter how you save it, just save it, and he did that.
Here comes the corner kick, headed over the top of the bar.
Yeah, I mean, he shouldn't be getting a free header at the near post. Deliveries just in front of the corner of the 6-yard box. It's a very good run from Tyler Roberts to the near post, but he's too far beyond the near post to actually get the header across the goal, so it goes wide of the near post.
That David Martin save is reminiscent of what didn't happen last week for Aaron Ramsdale for Wimbledon. Do you remember? He let one in
exactly
near post.
The same thing.
The second one, he tried to save it, and it
just get something on it. When it's moving like that, when there's movement on the ball like that, and you can't judge it, and it's not only moving from side to side, there's a bit of a dip in it as well. You've just got to get your hands, your body behind it, and get it out of the central areas of the goal. And Martin did that. But I was just saying, you can't fault this Millwall side for its work rate. There are some really, really tired legs out there now, Phil. They've given everything. They've just conceded some naive goals.
Yeah, Pablo Hernandez. Oh, that's a free kick.
That's another dive. I'm telling you, and why the Millwall players are surrounding the referees, because Hernandez has won the free kick by running into a player and then falling over, as opposed to the Millwall player making the challenge. It's a completely different thing, and I can't believe referees are fooled by that. I really can't.
No, but it's a free kick in a very, very good position. Let's go back very quickly for news of that goal at Scunthorpe. Mark Taylor.
Scunthorpe 1, AFC Wimbledon 2. Lee Novak has reduced the arrears for the home side after Aaron Ramsdale had partially saved from Adam Hamill. 7 minutes to go. Scunthorpe 1, AFC Wimbledon 2.
Back at Loftus Road shortly, but it's Bamford with this free kick. Leeds United, who haven't led in this game, it's an opportunity. It's on the angle, right of centre, 26 yards out, maybe 25 yards out, Steve.
On the angle, it will be at least 26. Yeah. I mean, and this guy's missed the penalty, and he's not been in the game.
No, left-footed, Bamford over the wall and over the bar, and out of play for a goal kick.
I have to say, there is no way. If I was in the Leeds team, there is no way I would have let Bamford bully me off the ball if I'm a decent free. He's been nowhere near in terms of, there's groans behind that goal, the Millwall goal. He's missed a header by some distance. Like, he jumped for it, he was 3 foot off and making contact with it. He's missed control balls, he's flicked balls, and they're groaning behind that goal. I would not have let him take that set piece.
David Martin's been booked. 1, 2, 3, 4 bookings from Millwall, who are now receiving some instructions on this near touchline. They're just taking time out of the game, aren't they? And Aidan O'Brien's going to come on very shortly. Let's go to Loftus Road for news of a goal, Stuart Smith.
A little bit of hope for QPR. Substitute Naki Wells rode a challenge just inside the penalty area. Left foot shot into the far post. Gives the Rangers side a little bit of hope with just about 8 minutes to go. Rangers 1, Bolton 2.
Tyler Roberts inside the Millwall penalty area, in towards the 6-yard box and put home by Pablo Hernandez. It's his second goal of the game. Roberts creating, and Leeds United lead for the first time this afternoon. He slid inside the 6-yard box, and it's Leeds who have a 3-2 advantage.
That looked like it was very close in terms of keeping it in play, but once again they've got in down this left-hand side. Millwall, and I kind of feel sorry for Romeo a little bit, the right back. He's constantly being ganged up 2v1 against. He can't deal with both players. He doesn't know whether to take the inside player or the outside player, so you take the most dangerous one, which most of the time is the inside player, but then he gets a 1v1 with players driving at him from out wide. It looked like it had been overrun by Tyler Roberts, but somehow he got to the ball, he drove it across. It's a very intelligent ball, as hard as you can, across the face of the goal, and hope somebody times their run and taps it in, and Hernandez did that. The timing's decent, and once you make connection, it's a goal. 3-2 Leeds.
Well, the board goes up to show that Aidan O'Brien is going to come on for James Meredith. Late on here, it's Leeds 3, Millwall 2. 7 minutes to go, plus added time. Instructions handed out from the bench. And there's been another goal at Selhurst Park. Andy Rowley.
And Wilfried Zaha, who's missed a few, managed to thread it through to Van Arnold, who didn't miss, unerring with his finish. Bottom right-hand corner, 2-0 to Palace, and Huddersfield doomed now, surely.
You would have thought so, as Jed Wallace guides a header back to Romeo on the halfway line. Patrick Bamford fouls in, according to the referee, and it's a free kick on the halfway line of Millwall.
It's a very, very big win for Crystal Palace, that. 36 points, I think that takes them up to. And leading up to today's game, they would have known how important it was to win today. So anything less than a win would have been really, really disappointing. So that win almost guarantees it for them, I think. So it's a big couple of goals.
Here comes the free kick. Marshall takes it towards the back post, headed away by Leeds United. Bromley 1-0 up against Salford from the penalty spot. Here goes a long rangy ball towards Jake Cooper, can't win the header. Forshaw will run it clear for Leeds United. 3-2, the home team lead. Clark down the right hand side, tries to bring it under control. Leonard in there, concedes a throw in to Leeds inside the Millwall half of the pitch. 6 to go, plus added time, 3-2 to Leeds.
Yeah, and the big danger now, as we all know, is that as Millwall try and find that equaliser, there's going to be these huge expansive gaps open up. We're going to see Morrison enter the field of play. Why not roll the dice? Two strikers are coming on. You've got Tom Elliott joining Morrison on the sideline, so it's a double sub for Millwall. Why not go for it?
Well, former Leeds player Steve Morrison, he's not getting the warmest of welcomes from the Leeds faithful, and Tom Elliott's going to come on. Well, we know where this is going to go now. This is going to go big, long and high and forward. Is it Lee Gregory would be withdrawn? I'm not quite sure.
Tunnicliffe just came off.
Yeah, Tunnicliffe came off. Who would Elliott replace?
Yeah, they're just hanging on. They're actually not making a double sub. They're just hanging on to Elliott, and they're going to leave it for a minute or so.
Leeds, though, meantime, have possession over on that far side, and that's the thing now. Leeds are very good at holding on to possession, and you've got to win it back. You've got to get that opportunity. Nottingham Forest 2, Swansea 1. Elsewhere in the Championship, Leeds United leading here by 3-2. Everyone was off the bench celebrating on the pitch, weren't they, when that goal went in to make it 3-2. Romeo tries to win it back. He squirts it out of play for a Leeds throw. And it will be, now it's Leeds who are taking their time with the set pieces, pulling up the socks.
And I wouldn't
That's what you do.
Yeah, absolutely. It's gamesmanship. You know, they've come back from being behind twice today. Showed great character, a couple of excellent substitutions that have made him even more attacking, but we're just going to see that last substitution with Thompson off and Elliott on, and Morrison's come on and he's playing right midfield. If you're going to go with the 3 strikers, you might as well put them up, occupy the back line and smash it long and leave them up there.
Yeah,
it's no good Morrison and Elliott going wide areas and tracking back.
Here are Leeds United with Forshaw. Ball rolled in towards Bamford. Faces up towards the Millwall goal. Roberts tries to manufacture a shot. He plops it straight out of play for a goal kick. David Martin, who was yellow carded for time wasting, now doesn't waste time. 34,910 inside Ellen Road. And most of them are jumping up and down and bouncing at the moment. It's going to be a tight Titanic tussle, isn't it, to get automatic promotion this season. They've been out the top flight for 15 years. It's been a long time. Is it 15 years, Leeds? I think so. Pushing it. As Lee Gregory turns into Liam Cooper, headed forward again towards Gregory. Cooper, big and strong. Yeah, no, 15
So this
years,
is the downside. You get more players in forward areas, you go direct, but if Leeds United win the first header and pick up the second pieces, there are huge gaps appearing all over the pitch for Leeds to exploit.
Marshall fouled by Bamford in the end. He was running down a cul-de-sac and he's lucky to win the free kick. 2.5 minutes to go and it will be boomed forward. Salford 1, Bromley 1 in the National League this afternoon elsewhere. Martin with the forward free kick into the Leeds half of the pitch. Elliott is up there. Elliott rises, loses out though to Calvin Phillips. Here's Aidan O'Brien's not really got on the ball since coming on. It's been won back though by Jed Wallace. Manchester United 2, Watford 1. Late goal back for Watford.
I'm not sure I'd hit Elliott either. Morrison has been occupied by Douglas. There was a huge advantage for Morrison. He's much better in the air. He's much clever at using his body and working out the flight of the ball early and winning flick-ons. And they've hit Elliott 3 times. He's not won a thing. And there's a mismatch there. I mean, Elliott has obviously been picked up by the main centre-half for Leeds, Liam Cooper. I would put it on Morrison's head, me personally.
Jake Cooper heads it down, flicked up in the air by Jed Wallace. Steve Morrison tries to win it. He wins their header. Out comes Peacock Farrell. And he'll let it dribble over the whitewash for a goal kick. We're into the last 90 seconds of normal time, but there will be significant added time, Steve. We're probably still looking at another 5 minutes of this game. And it will be Peacock Farrell with the goal kick. Marcelo Bielsa prowling around inside his 6-yard box. 6-yard box is a technical area. It looks like a 6-yard box. He's not sitting on his bin now. He's prowling. Now he crouches. Here goes Peacock Farrell, left-footed, clears it over the halfway line. Pearce and Cooper, that's Jake Cooper rise. Header is won by Jake Cooper. Pearce has another chance to win the ball back from Millwall. Looks to slide it over the halfway line. Elliott won't get there. Yes, he does. He beats Forshaw to it. Here come Millwall. It's slid into the path of Lee Gregory. Doesn't get it into his feet. Wallace picks up possession inside the Leeds area. Still with it, Jed Wallace. Whoa, that was very close to Ayling. You can't claim the handball. It was far too close to his hand. And here come Leeds United over the halfway line. And it's played to the left. Pearce, that's Alex Pearce, tries to call everyone back. Bamford has it. It's slid infield. Hernandez is on that hat-trick. He's been dispossessed. Here come Millwall. It's Aidan O'Brien to Tom Elliott. Oh, and he's won a free kick, Tom Elliott. But he had no idea where the ball was, and Millwall have possession on the halfway line, Steve Brown. But it allows Leeds to get back.
It does allow Leeds to get back, but they had an excellent opportunity. I don't know why Hernandez keeps trying to take people on when he's got great options. He had support Tyler Roberts on the right-hand side, and he just didn't pass it to him. Check back inside, and Millwall won it, which has led to this free kick, which, as you can see, allows Millwall to load up.
Bristol City are 3-2 up, by the way, at Sheffield United. Here comes the free kick. Steve Morrison, was he pushed by Bamford? Looked like it to me.
That is a push, and I don't know. Listen, the referee's blindsided that. I understand that, but this assistant here is staring straight at it. That is a push from Bamford, isn't it? It's not even an attempt to win the ball. He's just turned his back and pushed Morrison. It's a free kick.
Full-time whistles are blowing around the country. Earlier today, Man City beat Fulham 2-0. It's all over at Selhurst Park. Crystal Palace against Huddersfield. Dandy Rowley.
And they're on to 36 points. Palace 2-0. They've won it thanks to a penalty from Milivojevic after a foul from Zaha and a good strike from Van Arnold in the second half. It was hard work, but they got the job done. 2-0 to Palace against Huddersfield, who look like they are relegated this weekend.
It's 49 points to 20. Saracens lead at Allianz Park against Glasgow. Chertsey 0, Northwich 0. Bamford breaking forward. Jake Cooper shepherds it back to his goalkeeper. Bamford falling over again.
Yeah, and all he had to do was hook it to his right, and there was great support down the right hand side from Jack Clark. They're missing opportunities, Leeds.
David Martin with the clearance. Elliott wins it. Here's Aidan O'Brien. He's got Wallace beyond him. Lee Gregory in the area. It bounces through to the goalkeeper, Peacock Farrell.
Yeah.
Who gathers it inside his 18-yard box. We're playing 5 minutes of added on time, Steve. We played a minute and a half. It's still 3-2 Leeds United.
Yeah, and again, we talk about inches. O'Brien wins the header and it goes agonising close to Gregory, but Wallace was free on the inside. O'Brien had no chance of directing the header, but those are the things, the uncontrollable. Sometimes they fall for you, sometimes they don't.
Clearance from Peacock Farrell. Jake Cooper wins the header. It squirts over to the far touchline. Ben Marshall's challenging for it, held off by Jack Clark, who slides it back to Luke Ayling, who scored the equaliser to make it 2-2. Millwall have possession. That's clever from Marshall down the left-hand side. Slides it forward to Aidan O'Brien on the halfway line for Millwall. 3-2 they trail. It's now been played into Alex Pearce inside the centre circle. Looks up. Elliott makes the run towards the right. It's gone beyond Tom Elliott. He's won it back though. Marlon Romeo there as well. Millwall can't get possession back into their path. It's cleared away by Leeds United to the halfway line. The Leeds coaching staff want everyone to push forward. Here comes Pearce with the crossfield ball, looking for Steve Morrison. Guides it to O'Brien inside the penalty area. Swatted away by Leeds. Hernandez lets it bounce. Pearce wins it back. Here come Millwall again, pushing forward. 2 and a bit minutes to go. Looking for Tom Elliott. Downward header. It's not the best from Tom Elliott.
Just flick it onwards. I don't know why you're cushioning it. You've only got 2 players supporting, 5 in the box. Flick it towards the box.
Hernandez has helped work some space at Ayling down the right hand side. He's got Jack Clark wide of him. He's pushed it into Clark. Will he take it into the corner? No, he won't. He gets beaten to it by Ben Marshall, who runs clear. He's dragged back. Referee allows play to continue. It would have been a free kick and a probably yellow card. Now, well, this is where you could play advantage, but they've given it away again, Leeds. And Steve Morrison cushions it back, flicks it up in the air, and it wasn't Wallace who was getting on the end of it. From a Millwall point of view, it's finished at Loftus Road, but we'll be there shortly as that's pushed too far beyond Jack Harrison. Millwall have one last chance to get it forward. A minute and a half to go. A throw in deep in their right back territory. 3-2.
Yeah,
they trail.
I look down at the pitch and you can't accuse the Millwall players of not trying to. No. They are absolutely shattered across the board, and the game's now littered with mistakes, balls being given away left, right and centre just purely because they're fatigued.
Hooked clear by Leeds into Millwall's right back position. Marlon Romeo will smear it out of play, and it'll be a throw into Leeds. Stuart Smith, full-time Loftus Road.
Bolton Wanderers two goals from Bolton give them the victory. Buckley on 35, Connolly on 71. A consolation from Nahki Wells on 82 for Rangers. Not good enough. Bolton take the points. Rangers 1, Bolton 2.
One win since Boxing Day for Queen's Park Rangers in the lead. That was against Leeds. They drew at Hull. It's not good enough, full stop, is it really? And they've lost at home in recent weeks to Rotherham and Bolton. It's a throw in at Leeds, who are 30 seconds from victory here against Millwall. Drew at the Den earlier this season, but it's a throw in deep inside Millwall territory on the left-hand side. Leeds retain possession. It's been won back by Millwall. Wallace in midfield has one last chance maybe to set things in motion. He's run it into his own penalty area, manages to squirt it away. Battered clear by Millwall. Here's Aidan O'Brien, still with it. Aidan O'Brien's got Steve Morrison to his right. He's bundled it forward. It's Elliott. The referee has brought the end of the game with a blow of the whistle, and that's going to be controversial because Millwall were in an attacking position, and he couldn't wait quick enough to put the whistle in his mouth, could Darren Bond. But Millwall have battled bravely here at Ellen Road. They've twice led through Thompson and Marshall to be cancelled out by Hernandez and Ayling. A late goal from Pablo Hernandez has given Leeds United all 3 points. Millwall will know that yet again they've been in a battle royal where they've been so close to getting something out of this game but have been unable to do so. Leeds United should be in the Premier League, so says the Millwall manager Neil Harris. Well, this afternoon may have been yet another stride towards that top flight for the Yorkshire side, who've been out of it for a decade and a half. Millwall will know that they've really put everything into this match, but they've just come up a little bit short this afternoon. Leeds have had to fight all the way by the Lions' brave fight. It's finished though at Ellen Road. Leeds United 3, Millwall 2.
BBC Radio London. BBC Radio London.
First for London sport.
Let's go into League One then, shall we? They've seen the result of Sheffield United being beaten by Bristol City. Let's go to Scunthorpe against Wimbledon. Mark Taylor.
Scunthorpe 1, AFC Wimbledon 2, and the great escape is still perfectly possible. Joe Pigott had a penalty save before 2 goals from James Anson put the Dons in the driving seat. His first was a glancing header, his second was an excellent volley. Lee Novak reduced the arrears after the interval, but it's finished. Scunthorpe 1, AFC Wimbledon 2.
Let's go to the Valley, shall we? News of Charlton this afternoon against Bradford. Louis Mendes.
Charlton 1, Bradford City 0, a third home win on the spin for the Addicts. Not one they'll be making a commemorative DVD of. It was a dour affair, but Lyle Taylor's goal in the first half was enough after a brilliant pass from Joe Aribo. Both sides did hit the post. Lyle Taylor for the Addicts, David Ball for the visitors, but Charlton had enough in the bank for the victory. 14 unbeaten at home now, 12 points above Peterborough in 7th. It's going to be the playoffs again for the Addicts. It's Charlton 1, Bradford 0.
And what about in the National League? Barnet against Leyton Orient. Dave Victor.
Barnet 0, Leyton Orient 0. The O's stay top, but the Bees will be very frustrated that they weren't able to cause an upset. They forced 3 excellent saves from Dean Bill in a lively first half. They were denied by the woodwork when Alito, the substitute shot, smashed against the post. Leyton Orient, though, with the last kick of the game, Josh Coulson got the ball in the back of the net, only to be ruled offside. It finished Barnet 0, Leyton Orient 0.
It's gone to extra time. Chertsey against Northwich Victoria in the FA semi-final, and we'll go to Wigan against Brentford. Full time for Billy Reeves.
Wigan 0, Brentford 0. Probably a fair result. Good display for some of the Brentford fringe players. 2 great saves from Luke Daniels in the Brentford goal. Minutes for De Silva and Sorensen. Wigan were aggressive, got amongst Brentford, and Thomas Frank will be very pleased how his young side coped with that, especially after Wigan bought on Leon Clark with a little bit of gamesmanship. A very experienced player, caused some problems with 3 up front. Wigan 0, Brentford 0.
What's the latest in the rugby? Saracens heading into the last 4, Jamie Hill.
They are indeed. They lead the Glasgow Warriors by 56 points to 20. It's been a command performance from them in the second half. They've scored 7 tries in total. Liam Williams has 2, David Strackle has 2, Brad Barrett scored in the first half, Jamie George for a rolling ball, and then the replacement Nick Tompkins have added the exclamation point on a simply scintillating Saracens display in this second half. They've beaten Glasgow out of sight in this game, still with more than 5 minutes left to go. Price and Horn have scored for Glasgow, but Saracens lead here by 56 points to 20.
Thank you very much indeed. Still to come, West Ham United against Everton on digital radio. We'll also keep you up to date with the Legends game at Tottenham Hotspur's new stadium. But right now, before we head into the far post on BBC Radio London, let's get the latest news and traffic.
BBC Radio London travel. On the M25 clockwise, it's looking very slow as you go past junction 21A for the M1. That's after an accident. In Tottenham, the high road is closed in both directions between Church Road and Percival Court to accommodate large crowds for the game at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. It's kicking off at 5:30. Park Lane and Worcester Avenue are also both closed around the stadium. And in Dagenham on Ripple Road, it's looking slow and the inside lane is closed westbound from Gale Street to Renwich Road for emergency repairs. In Chelsea, the traffic lights have failed on Redcliffe Gardens at Fulham Road. There are queues on all approaches to the intersection there. In Streatham, the traffic lights have failed on all approaches to the junction where Streatham High Road meets the A23. Slow on all approaches to those lights. In Teddington, there are delays on Broad Street where the temporary traffic lights have failed at Waldegrave Road. It's slow through there in both directions as you go past the Tesco Metro. On the trains, there's no service on London Overground between Barking and South Tottenham because of a fault on the train at Barking. Miles Blumsom, BBC Radio London Travel. The next update's at 5:30.
On digital radio, 94.9 FM and on BBC Sounds.
This is London.
This is BBC Radio London.
London's News at 5, I'm Mike Duran. It's believed Theresa May is hoping for fourth time lucky with talk she's planning to put her Brexit deal before the Commons yet again. The Labour leader, Jeremy Corbyn, isn't impressed. The Islington MP reckons her tactics haven't worked so far and won't work in the future.
The priority, the absolute priority at the moment, is to end this chaos that this government has brought us to by their endlessly running down the clock and basically bullying and threatening people. The bullying hasn't worked, the threats hasn't worked. It's time now for the sensible people to take over.
Meanwhile, for a second day, pro-Brexit supporters have been out marching in Westminster, angry at the delay in leaving the EU. TfL buses have been forced to cancel or postpone some services due to what police call a roaming protest. A post-mortem examination is taking place today after a man was fatally stabbed near Regent's Park Mosque on Thursday. The victim has this afternoon been named as 25-year-old Zahir Visitor. So Mick Jagger has apologised to fans for the postponement of the Rolling Stones tour of North America, which was supposed to begin in a few weeks' time. The 75-year-old singer has been told that he needs medical treatment. Fans are being advised to hold on to their tickets. Our entertainment correspondent Chichi Azundu says the exact reason isn't yet known.
There is no more detail on what the medical treatment is for or how long he's been treated for. Now, what we do know is in terms of when it comes to putting on a tour, it's an expensive affair. It takes a lot for an insurance company to agree to get somebody to be signed off to cancel a whole tour or postpone it in this case. Plus, it will cost a lot of money.
Today is the deadline for public sector bodies with more than 250 employees to reveal how much of a pay difference there is between male and female workers. Figures show the gender pay gap is particularly large within the university sector. It's been a day of delay and disruption at St Pancras after a protest that caused Eurostar services to be cancelled until lunch.